All right, get ready for a deep dive today. We're going to the crossroads of ancient healing wisdom and cosmic consciousness.
Sounds fascinating.
We're talking Ayurvedic energy healing and the law of one.
Oh,
Our sources today are really interesting, a mix of traditional Ayurvedic texts, some research papers on alternative medicine, and, believe it or not, excerpts from the law of one channeling.
okay. Things are about to get a little metaphysical.
That's right. We're going to try to answer this question today. Can ancient Ayurvedic wisdom be seen through the lens of a universal spiritual principle like the law of one?
That is a very compelling question, especially when you consider how both Ayurveda and the Law of One emphasize interconnectedness.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we go full cosmic, maybe we should ground ourselves a little bit in the basics of Ayurveda.
Sure.
It's more than just turmeric lattes and yoga, right?
Oh, definitely more. So much.
Much more. Ayurveda, it actually means the science of life, and it's one of the oldest medical systems in the world. It originated in India thousands of years ago. Thousands of years. That's incredible. What's the basic premise?
Well, Ayurveda views each human being as this microcosm of the universe,
Okay.
reflecting the same energies and elements that exist on a larger scale. It's really all about achieving balance, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well.
It's a holistic system then, taking into account the whole person,
Yes.
which makes sense considering, like you said, how interconnected everything seems to be.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of these things called doshas in Ayurveda. What are
Oh,
those?
yes, the doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha. These are kind of a core concept in Ayurveda. You can think of them as like unique blends of 5 basic elements:
Okay.
ether, air, fire, water, and earth.
So everyone has their own, like, specific combination of these doshas.
That's right. That's your unique doshic constitution or your Ayurvedic blueprint. Understanding it can give you so much insight into yourself. It influences everything from your physical characteristics and your personality tendencies to even what foods and activities keep you in balance.
Wow, so if I knew my dosha, I could use that to make choices that would really support my well-being.
Exactly.
That's really cool, actually.
Mm.
What are some ways that Ayurvedic practitioners figure out someone's dosha?
Well, they have some truly fascinating diagnostic techniques.
Okay.
Pulse diagnosis.
Oh, yeah.
It goes way beyond just checking your heart rate.
Okay.
They're feeling for these subtle energies that are flowing through your body
Wow.
to assess your doshic balance.
That's incredible. It sounds like a superpower almost.
Yeah. And there's more. There's also ton diagnosis
Oh, wow.
and eye diagnosis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can reveal imbalances. Ayurveda really emphasizes these subtle energies, which leads us right into our next topic, the law of one.
Okay, let's venture into this cosmic realm a little bit. What is this law of one, and where does it come from?
The law of one, as described in the material that we have, is a channeled message from a being called Ra. And Ra is a social memory complex, which is a really fancy way of saying a collective consciousness.
A collective consciousness.
Okay.
My mind is already blown. So what does Ra have to say? What's the law of one all about?
The central principle of the law of one is really simple, but profound. All is one. Ra describes a hierarchical structure of the universe with densities of consciousness.
Okay.
And these represent different levels of spiritual evolution.
Densities of consciousness. So
Yeah.
we're all on this ladder and we're climbing towards greater awareness and understanding.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And this journey, it isn't just for individuals. Entire planets evolve through these densities.
Oh, wow.
And Earth, according to Ra, is currently in a transition. It's moving towards a higher density.
Interesting. So if the law of one says all is one, and Ayurveda sees each of us as these microcosms reflecting the macrocosm, are we starting to see some connections here?
Oh, absolutely. Both systems, they emphasize this interconnectedness. It's like they're speaking different languages, but they're pointing at the same truth.
All right, I'm hooked. So how does all of this cosmic interconnectedness tie into the practical aspects of Ayurvedic healing?
That's a great question.
Our sources, they mention some really specific remedies, right?
Yes.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Some of them are quite intriguing. For example, Cissus quadrangularis, it's a plant with almost cactus-like qualities.
Okay.
Has traditionally been used to help heal bone fractures.
Wait, a cactus-like vine mending broken bones?
That's right.
That's amazing. What else?
There's also this unexpected use of papaya seeds. Turns out they can act as an antibacterial agent for dysentery.
Papaya seeds. I had no idea.
Yep,
I'm starting to see how food plays a really important role in Ayurvedic healing.
it absolutely does.
Fascinating.
There's even mention of coconut flour paste being used for kidney stones.
Coconut flour paste.
Yeah,
That's fascinating. So, are we looking at food as medicine here?
precisely.
Uh-huh.
And if we analyze these remedies through the lens of the law of one, things get even more interesting. Rod describes the universe as being composed of energy and vibration. So could it be that these plants, with their unique properties, are actually resonating with specific energy centers in the body to promote healing?
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Energy centers, vibrations. This is where it gets really interesting. But before we dive into that, maybe we should talk about another key concept in Ayurveda,
Sure.
marma points.
Marma points, yes. These are vital energy points in the body, often compared to acupuncture points in traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
They're believed to be gateways to our subtle energy system.
So are we talking about accessing and influencing the flow of prana, that vital life force in Ayurveda?
Exactly. And this is where the connection to the law of one becomes even more intriguing. If we consider prana as a manifestation of that universal intelligent energy that Ra speaks of,
Right.
could prana be seen as a manifestation of this energy within us?
Wow, that's a powerful thought. So by working with marma points and prana, could we be tapping into this universal energy field described by the law of one?
It's a fascinating possibility, and it's one that we will explore further. But first, let's talk about the energy centers themselves, those swirling vortices of energy known as chakras.
Yeah, chakras, I've heard of them, but I'm not sure I fully understand them.
Yeah.
What are they exactly?
Yeah.
And how do they relate to marma points and this whole concept of intelligent energy?
Well, you can think of chakras as spinning wheels of energy located along the spine, each one associated with specific aspects of our being: physical, emotional, and spiritual.
So it's like we have this whole energy system within us, and each chakra plays a specific role.
That's a great way to visualize it. And what's really intriguing is that the law of one also describes these energy centers and connects them to different densities of consciousness.
Okay.
It suggests that as we evolve spiritually, we activate and develop these chakras, and we gain access to greater wisdom, compassion, and understanding.
Wait a minute. So marma therapy, which works with prana and these energy points, could potentially influence not only our physical well-being, but also our spiritual evolution.
That's right.
That's mind-blowing.
It's a profound concept, isn't it? And it speaks to the incredible potential of Ayurveda as a system for not only healing, but also for awakening to our true nature.
All right, so we've got this incredible convergence happening. Ayurveda, with its ancient wisdom about balancing energies and promoting well-being, and the law of one, with its cosmic perspective on consciousness, spiritual evolution, and the interconnectedness of all things. It's like they're pieces of the same puzzle.
Exactly.
And as we delve deeper into this puzzle, I'm sure we're going to uncover even more fascinating connections. But for now, let's take a moment to absorb what we've learned so far and see where it leads us.
Sounds good.
This is already so much to process. I can't wait to hear what else we uncover.
Me too. Picking up where we left off, it's remarkable how both Ayurveda and the Law of One acknowledge this subtle energy body that exists beyond our physical form.
Right. It's like they're both pointing to this deeper dimension, this energetic blueprint that influences our well-being in ways we don't always understand.
And this energy body in Ayurveda is said to be composed of prana, the vital life force that flows through all of us. Remember how we were talking about marma therapy and its connection to prana?
Yeah, manipulating prana at these specific marma points to promote healing and balance.
Well, if we consider prana as a manifestation of that universal intelligent energy that Ross speaks of, suddenly marma therapy takes on a whole new dimension.
It's like we're not just working with the physical body, but with this interconnected energy field that extends beyond us.
Precisely. And this brings us back to those fascinating energy centers we mentioned, the chakras.
Yeah, the chakras, I'm still trying to get my head around them. They're not like physical organs, are they?
Not in the traditional sense. Think of them as these swirling vortices of energy,
Okay.
each vibrating at a specific frequency and influencing different aspects of our being.
So there's a chakra for our emotions, one for our creativity, one for grounding.
Exactly. And according to the law of one, these chakras are directly connected to the densities of consciousness. As we progress through these densities, evolving spiritually, we activate and develop these chakras,
Okay.
and we unlock greater potential within ourselves.
Hold on. So are you saying that working with these marma points in prana
Yeah.
could actually help us move through these densities, like accelerate our spiritual evolution?
It's certainly a possibility worth considering. The source material hints at this connection. It suggests that certain marma points can act as gateways to these chakras,
Wow.
and they influence their energy flow.
That's pretty mind-blowing. It's like Ayurveda is offering us a practical roadmap for spiritual growth, like a set of techniques to harmonize with these universal energies.
And remember, both systems emphasize intention.
Okay.
In Ayurveda, it's about bringing awareness to our actions, our diet, our lifestyle. In the Law of One, it's about aligning our thoughts and emotions and actions with the principle of service to others.
Service to others.
Hmm.
That's a key idea in the Law of One, right? This concept of choosing our polarity, whether we're oriented toward serving ourselves or serving others.
Exactly, and it ties in beautifully into Ayurveda's concept of dharma, our purpose in life. Could it be that fulfilling our dharma is inherently an act of service, whether it's directed towards ourselves or towards the greater good?
That makes a lot of sense.
Ah.
So as we learn about our doshas, as we explore marma therapy and work with our chakras, are we essentially refining our understanding of our dharma and our polarity?
It's certainly a possibility, and it leads us to another fascinating concept from the Law of One, wanderers.
Wanderers. Okay, this is where we go full sci-fi, right?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
According to Ra, wanderers are beings from higher densities of consciousness who have chosen to incarnate on Earth to help with its spiritual evolution.
So there might be people listening to this right now who are actually wanderers.
It's certainly possible. And Ra suggests that wanderers often feel a sense of not belonging, a deep longing for something more.
That resonates with me, actually. Not that I think I'm from another planet or anything,
Right.
but I've always felt this pull towards something bigger than myself.
That feeling could be a clue, a signpost pointing you towards your true purpose. And if you're drawn to Ayurveda, if this conversation is sparking something within you, it could be a sign that you're meant to use this ancient wisdom to heal, to awaken, and to serve others.
That's a powerful thought. And it raises an interesting question. If all is one, as the Law of One suggests, are we all, in some sense, wanderers? Are we all on this journey back to our true home, back to that unified consciousness?
That's a beautiful question, and one that each listener can contemplate for themselves. What matters is that we continue exploring, seeking, and opening our hearts to the wisdom that exists both within us and around us.
Okay, before we get too lost in the cosmos, let's bring it back to something tangible, something mentioned in the Ayurvedic text.
Sure.
There's this concept of agni, right?
Ah, agni. Often described as our digestive fire, the metabolic force that's responsible for transforming food into energy.
So it's not just about literal digestion, but also about how we process experiences, emotions, even thoughts.
Precisely. A weak agni can lead to stagnation, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. A strong agni, on the other hand, allows us to fully absorb and integrate experiences, leading to greater well-being.
Okay, so how does agni connect to the Law of One? Where does this universal intelligent energy come into play?
Well, if we think about agni as the force that allows us to harmonize with these universal energies, it starts to make sense. A strong agni could enhance our ability to absorb and integrate this intelligent energy,
Okay.
fueling our spiritual growth.
So it's not just about what we eat, but also about how we eat, right? Our intention, our mindset.
Absolutely. Ayurveda emphasizes mindful eating, bringing awareness and gratitude to the process.
Right.
And the Law of One speaks about the power of intention in shaping our reality. Perhaps a mindful, grateful approach to eating actually enhances the power of Agni, allowing us to more fully benefit from the intelligent energy present in food.
That's fascinating. It's like we're active participants in the digestive process, not just passive recipients.
Exactly. And this ties into that theme of empowerment that we keep encountering.
Right.
We're not just victims of circumstance. We have the power to shape our reality through our choices, our intentions, and our actions.
All right, so we've got this incredible synergy happening between Ayurveda and the Law of One. They're offering us practical tools for healing, for evolving, for awakening to our true nature. But it's all pretty abstract, right? What does it actually look like to bring this wisdom into our daily lives?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one we'll explore further as we wrap up this deep dive. But for now, let's sit with these ideas, let them percolate, and see what insights emerge.
This is already so much to take in. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on how we can actually apply all of this.
Me too.
Okay, so we've explored the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda. We've gone through the cosmic mysteries of the Law of One, and I think we found some really fascinating connections between these two systems.
Exactly.
But how do we actually take all this information and make it practical in our lives?
That's the real question, right? That's where it all comes together. Remember we were talking about the chakras
Yeah.
and how they connect to the densities of consciousness.
Yeah, as we grow spiritually, we kind of activate and develop those chakras, right?
That's right. And that allows us to access higher levels of awareness. What if we could consciously work with these energy centers using Ayurveda to accelerate our spiritual growth?
Okay, so you're saying that marma therapy could be a tool not just for physical healing, but for spiritual evolution as well.
It really could. And that speaks to the potential of Ayurveda and the Law of One together. Imagine using marma therapy to clear blockages in your chakras and allowing prana to flow more freely. Imagine using the Law of One's emphasis on service to others and aligning your intentions that way, using that energy to fuel your spiritual growth.
It's like we're being handed this toolbox filled with ancient wisdom and cosmic insight,
Exactly.
all designed to help us awaken to our true nature.
Yes, and the best part is, you don't have to be an expert in Ayurveda or the Law of One to benefit. Just start by being more aware. Pay attention to your body, your energy levels, your thoughts, your emotions. Notice how different foods and activities and environments make you feel.
It's that Ayurvedic principle of observing ourselves, right?
Yes,
Understanding our unique constitution.
exactly.
What brings us into balance? But what do we do with that information? How do we actually put that into action?
Well, once you start paying attention, you can make choices that support your well-being. Choose foods that nourish you. Do things that bring you joy. Surround yourself with things that promote peace and harmony. Explore things like yoga and meditation, breath work. These are all rooted in Ayurvedic principles.
So it's about weaving those ancient practices into our modern lives.
That's right. Find a way to integrate this wisdom in a way that feels authentic for you. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about those little consistent changes, the ones that are aligned with your values and support your growth. It's about enjoying the journey.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get overwhelmed, thinking we have to do everything perfectly.
Yeah,
Maybe it's more about taking small steps, experimenting, figuring out what works for us.
absolutely. And if you feel called to explore Ayurveda a little deeper, there are a lot of resources out there. Books, websites, workshops, even Ayurvedic practitioners who can help you.
And I think community is important too, connecting with other people who are interested in these things,
For sure.
sharing experiences and supporting each other.
Absolutely.
Well, this deep dive has been, I'll be honest, pretty profound.
It has.
We've covered ancient healing systems,
Mm.
cosmic consciousness,
Hmm.
and I think what we've really uncovered is the incredible potential that we all have inside.
We do. It's been a privilege to explore all these concepts with you. And as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this.
Mm.
The answers you're looking for are already within you. Trust your intuition, listen to your heart, and embrace the wisdom that you find along the way.
That's beautifully said. And remember, listener, you're not alone on this journey. We're all interconnected, part of this amazing tapestry of consciousness. As you keep exploring, may you find the guidance, the inspiration, and the healing that you seek. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, may your journey be filled with love, light, and the wisdom of the ancients.